So, part not two, 4 of church trauma. So last time I was talking about like fear and how like growing up in Christianity is always like the fear of being judged, the fear of everything like considered demonic, and I like touched on like the Harry Potter thing. And in another video I touched on how because of it I had almost all of my anime and like secular stuff taken away. And that always frustrated me that everything that was secular was seen as demonic and the devil. And it was really fucking suffocating. Like, absolutely freaking suffocating. And it's funny because they instilled a whole hell of a lot of fear into each individual about demons and like spirits and all of that stuff. It was completely centered around fear, not protecting yourself, but being fucking afraid. And then, sweetened it up at the end with, call on Jesus. But the amount of fear that they instilled in like the collective from like the youth was just it was crippling. It was fucking crippling. And as a kid, I would always wonder, like, they were talking about how, the horror movies and the, books about like witches and stuff are desensitizing kids. Me, from my perspective as a kid, I saw that as a good thing. Like, if you're desensitized to all of these evil faces, to these faces that don't look human, and that look demonic, then you're not going to be afraid if you come face to face with that shit in real fucking life. That was my logic. So like, why would you want people to be afraid? Because you will be more empowered if you're not afraid of whatever you're supposed to fight anyway. And that never made sense to me. And it was just so fucking ridiculous to me. But lo and behold, I got into that trap, and it was actually an exorcism that my family ended up doing at one point, where we were like, the kids were in the house, which an exorcism is not a place to take kids, but you have no other choice, I guess. But they went around with the oil, praying loudly, and that was like overstimulating for me anyway, because it was just a lot of people speaking in tongues or like saying a bunch of freaking words. It was just like a whole bunch of words and a whole bunch of like from what I was picking up, like it felt stressful, like a lot of stressful, to me, yelling energy. And it didn't feel empowering to me. It felt more like fearful, like the people trying to push it out were just like afraid and just wanted it to go away. Like, I didn't feel there was authority in the way that they were trying to push out whatever this, exorcism was supposed to do. And I was sitting on the couch with one of the oldest daughters of that house. And I needed to go to the bathroom, and it was overwhelming, and the way that they had made me afraid of everything spiritual was just too much. And I asked her if she could like walk me to the bathroom. Now, I went into the bathroom, no incidents. I come out and she is bawling her eyes out, and she's older than me. And she claimed that she had something growl in her ear. And I was fucking terrified. Like, I felt her fear to the core of my being. And I actually ended up carrying the fear that she had with me for a good portion of my life. And so, in my encounters with other spirits, either I didn't know what was happening or I was terrified of what was happening. And didn't actually interact properly, not or in any kind of empowered way that I should have been able to act, knowing that if I had known, I had the gifts that I did. And so as we were passing this dark room, there was, like, supposedly there were dark spots in that dark room in the carpet, and they were like, oh, it's witches. And I started to, like, turn my head in that direction to see, because, like, I was still a curious kid. I was fucking afraid, but I wanted to see at the same time. And, you know, when you do stuff like that, like, you get yelled at, and so that makes you even more afraid, because it's just like, okay, I'm not allowed to even, like, look to, like, see what it is, this invisible force, because nothing happened to me in that house. I just picked up on the other girl's fear and, like, this stressful exorcism, because it didn't feel like, you know, a lot of the videos where, you know, people are talking about spirits and stuff like that in a very relaxed or, like, empowering way, or how some people are removing spirits from other people. And, you know, some of that is, you know, video, so you never know what's really going on in the background and stuff. But, like, it didn't feel like it wasn't coming from a place of fear or disempowerment. But they did their thing, and that was the end of it. And that fear I held in my body well into adulthood. And it took me a long time to realize that all along that fear wasn't even mine. I had to literally, like, awaken and get bored with it to have that fear removed from me. But it also didn't help. Well, I don't know if that was before or after. My timelines are a little bit mixed. But it also didn't help that I was, like, chased by these demon-looking things my whole life. These creatures that, some of them to this day, I would not be able to actually explain to you what they looked like. I would have to draw it, and I'm not that great at drawing to be able to display exactly what they look like. But I guess that will be for another video about being chased by demons. But yeah, I didn't even realize that the fear that I carried my whole life wasn't even mine. Part of it was, you know, the church stuff. Part of it was that. But, like, I wished that they wouldn't instill such a deep fear, because I wanted to not be afraid. Like, if I had to confront something that looked like its skin was melting off of its face, then I wanted to do so from a place of, oh, okay, I see you. No. But, you know, I wasn't even allowed to say no to people. I guess we'll get on that too. But anyway, that's it.